Self-education is your only defense against the brain. On a daily basis, we are exposed to the same group of people, be it our friends in school, our colleagues, meaning to say we are exposed to the same mindsets, the same thought processes. Insanity is the definition of doing the same thing over and over again but expecting a different result. How can we expect ourselves to level up in our lives if we are constantly being fed the same ideas and mindsets? If we want to change the outcome of a better life, shouldn't we have new ideas injected into ourselves? I'm going to share how learning new things has completely changed my life for the better and how you can adopt the system as well. I learned this idea called learning as you build from Dan Cole. So what he says is whenever you have goals to work towards, instead of doing so much research and planning and then taking action, it's better to just start. Just start whatever your goal is. For example, my goal was to launch a YouTube channel, and before the channel you're watching right now, I used to have another channel and the thumbnail was just inconsistent. The videos and my niche were not, the niche I had was just like random. So I realized that okay, that's not something that's working out. Let me go and research about it. Let me just curate a list of videos I can learn from. I really believe in the term YouTube University. There is so much of amazing resources online on YouTube that we can just learn from. And I created a playlist for that. I ended up following April's video. I adopted the 90-day challenge for myself, and I realized that before I even start a YouTube channel, I need to have uploaded 4 videos like once I studied. This is to give YouTube enough data to understand what my niche is. So that's the system I followed. And then after, I just upload 2 videos a week and ensure that every single time I upload a video, I see if there's something I can improve on. So learning according to my goals. I launched the first channel. I failed it. I sucked. But I learned from my failures, and then I curated online resources. I studied that and then improved my execution. So this is my, just for comparison, this is my previous YouTube page and this is my current YouTube page. You can see it's a bit more consistent right now. Now, another thing is since I started this YouTube playlist, right, every month, as humans, we always have problems we face. It can be in the financial area of lives or can be in finance area, relationships, no matter what. They are just amazing resources, like even the School of Life. Wow, I really love both these channels. They talk about really philosophical and like life-wise. But ever since October, I've been curating a YouTube playlist based on the challenges I'm facing in that month. And whenever I see something that catches my eye, right, I just immediately add it to that month's playlist. I actually have a second brain on my Notion, which is like just a database of all my notes, and I just input it there. Now for books wise, I set up a monthly TBR on my Kindle, and I try to achieve 1 self-help book a month and 3 fantasy sessions. I almost always exceed the target because I'm quite an avid reader and I always find time to read. This was my last year reading progress. On average, for the whole year, I read about 66 books. And on average, there's about like 5+ books a month. So having like this kind of goal is quite doable for me. So this month I was reading Can't Hurt Me and I finished it as a self-help. I'm currently on the last series of the Plated Prisoner book. It's a fantasy book. And although I set myself just this goal, right, I kind of expanded. I attended Ali Abdal's Spark Invent. And the books they mentioned, there were 2 guest speakers, TJ Power and Nid Real. So I got their books on Dose Effect, Indestructible. I've already read them as well. And I've learned so much from just both these books. And I'm also reading this book this month, which is The Principles of Success. So self-help books will tend to like just expand as I go throughout the months or just like facing a certain problem. And having read these new books, right, they're like injecting new ideas into my mind and new principles and thought processes. See, a book can either give you new insights or completely radically change your, like shatter your belief and perceptions. When I read Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, I didn't know a human could achieve that much of a physical output or that much of physical exercise is even possible, but he really drills on mind over matter, how we set our own limiting beliefs. So that book was super inspiring. I really recommend it. Another book that completely changed the trajectory of my life is The 12-Week Year. I've made videos on it as well. Oh, I just really love 12-Week Year. It's just a phenomenal book. So now that's just for like learning wise and improving yourself, right? Now I want to talk a bit about fantasy books and thriller books. See, when you're reading fantasy, right, like for me personally, I feel like I have one lifetime, right? But just by reading books, right, it's like a orbit or something that I can pass through and I'm living a completely different life. I feel I've lived so much more just because I'm reading fiction. I can't even explain this feeling. It is a magical feeling and a magical place to be in. And I can just fall in love so many times with so many different people. And when I'm reading, and I've read books that even scare me to my core. Misery by Stephen King, The Last Thing That Burns by Will Dean. Oh my god, those are like some phenomenal books, thriller books that really scared me. I'm actually picking up a new thriller author, David. This is the book that I thrifted, so I'm excited to give this a try. So these books just like propel you into a completely different mind space. And honestly, reading and immersing yourself in a book, right, is so much more different from a movie because you get to understand the person's thoughts in here. When I read fantasy and fiction books that are political level, right, their wordplay is insane. The way they battle, the way they talk to each other and defend themselves is just really crazy. And I found myself being so much much more emotionally intelligent by applying what I've like absorbed from those books in real life. And when you read fantasy and fiction, right, it's like story, so therefore your mind like remembers it or stores it much more better compared to like reading self-help texts. So you're able to apply and just be a bit more emotionally mature, empathizing to other people, understanding their pain, and just convey and like converse better, you know. And it's just such an amazing experience. It's so much more better than the quick dopamines because you have to get invested in the characters. And if it's a series, it's even better. You have to get invested in the characters. You have to remember the plot twist. You have to follow up each person's emotional background. When a character develops themselves from book 1 to book 4, you are like, wow. Like in the Plated Prisoner series, Queen Manila's character development is really, really good. I personally really enjoy Hermione Draco fanfictions. I'm still not over the Harry Potter series. I don't think I'll ever be. Secrets and Masks is a god tier fanfiction, okay? It is an amazing fanfiction that nothing can ever top. And seeing the formation from literal enemies to lovers is a crazy transformation that I really, really enjoyed. I even cried during like multiple parts of the book. But yeah, that's what I mean, you know? Living more than just one life. And some books, right, they just make me appreciate my life for existing. For example, the Homo sapiens series. Wow, this is just a phenomenal book. Like just understanding how we as a human species has evolved made me just appreciate so much how we went from cave walls with our drawings and architecture, like forming languages, and then afterwards how we as a human species are way more different than animals simply because we have created written language. And that's why we're able to have companies, that's why we're able to like laws and regulations, because we're able to write and converse in that language. Even with finance books or productivity books, or like I learned about how to do more deep works by reading Deep Work by Cal Newport and Flow by Milhay. In the future, I plan to share how I find time to read with a full-time job while doing content and as well as attending classes. Check out this video here where I show you how I level up my finance game, and check out this video here where I do a monthly reset and understand how I'm progressing education-wise, finance-wise, in terms of my goals and everything else. I'm all about having personal systems to level up ourselves. So hit that button there if you're interested in having this kind of community. Thanks for watching.